So now we are we'll finish this module shortly. There are only very few slides left. So what we have done until now is we talked about the steps of the research process, which meant definition of the objectives we did, clarification of resources, sources of resources in the institution, deciding on which approach, and survey method. So there are two steps left, which is doing the sampling and processing the results. Doing the sampling. It's a very important issue. We always need to have, usually we draw a sample from visitors, or when we do non-visitor studies, also from non-visitors. But at any rate, we need to have a sample which is representative. And sometimes it's very easy to do this, and sometimes it's very difficult. May I ask you what you think representative does mean? You have an idea what this is?
The study includes different representatives of different social and other groups.
Yes, 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 yeah.
Participants for the study, an amount of data which is reliable.
Yes, that you have enough respondents or enough data that you can rely on, right? Yeah, this is very true. But also there is some, first of all, some general kind of criteria. I would like to explain to you what representative means. First of all, or altogether, representative means that the sample is a very small picture of the underlying population where you draw the respondents from, which means we have the same distribution of age and what education and gender and whatever in the population behind. We want to have this also in our sample. To do this, we need to fulfill three different criteria. I will explain them first and then I'll give you examples. First, it's important that the population or the mass of people where you draw your sample from, that you can know and name this amount of people. This sounds strange, but later I will explain to you what this means. Second, when you draw the elements for your sampling, you must be able to clearly define who comes into your sampling and who not, which means three, that the procedure where you select people to come into your sample must be in a systematic and objective manner. For instance, sometimes people do want to do a non-visitor study by going to a shopping center or to a shopping mall or to some areas where you can meet many people who do their buying there. For instance, Hohe Straße in Köln. So, when I want to make a non-visitor study, and then I go to the Hohe Straße in Köln, and for instance select, let's say, 200 people from there. I spent there several days and I select 200 people from the Hohe Straße. Is this representative basis for a non-visitor study, first of all? Obviously, it's you saying no. Why? Yeah, why? These criteria here are not fulfilled. I actually do not know who is actually in the Hohe Straße. There are obviously people from Cologne, but there are also people from outside. There may be tourists I meet, and I really don't know the composition of the people who are in the Hohe Straße. Is the people of the Hohe Straße representative for the people in Cologne? Certainly not, because who is preferably there? People who are younger, you have time for shopping, who are mobile, who live in the center of Cologne, who have time to do their shopping and so forth. People who are living outside or in the suburbs, maybe doing their shopping, for instance, in their own Veedel. People who are working probably don't have time to go shopping, only at the weekend. So the composition of the audience in the Hohe Straße is completely unclear. And this is what it means when it says the underlying population is known and defiable. So already here, this selection, this sample size is not representative. Then what I need to have here, for instance, is a list of people where I can draw my sample from. For instance, I make a survey among subscribers. I may take a list of subscribers I have in my files, and then I send to every 10th or 5th or maybe to all subscribers, I send a questionnaire. Or if I want to make a non-visitor study in the city of Cologne, I need a kind of list of all the people who are living in Cologne. For instance, I may get this list from the registration office of the city of Cologne. There I can get a list, or I can go to them and tell them, well, I need a sample. Can you please give me a selection of households from the population of Cologne? And they will do this for me. And then they send me a list with addresses of households, and I can send questionnaires to these households, for instance. This is a systematic selection. Also, the selection procedure of interviewees is systematic and nameable, which means I must have a clear rule how I get my respondents from the population. When I'm doing a survey in the Hohe Straße, and I say to the interviewer, well, stay there and then please pick out 100 people and make interviews. And there is no clear rule. What will happen? The interviewer will select people. Probably he will interview people that look friendly, that seem to have time, that are walking slowly, that are not in a group but on their own. So something where he thinks from this person I will get an interview. This is not a systematic rule for selection interviews. So what is a systematic rule? Very easy in this case. For instance, I can say, draw a line in your mind to the opposite side of the street, and then, for instance, select every 10th person that is crossing this line. No matter how this person look like, be it friendly or unfriendly, young or old, in a group, with heavy bags or no bags at all at their hands or whatever, and make an interview with this person. This is a systematic possibility to select respondents. Also, when we're doing a visitor research, that different opportunities. Very often we see that interviewers, when they are not trained in selecting people systematically, they go around the venue and just ask people who is just standing there and looking friendly and whatever, and then he goes to them. This is also not a systematic procedure. This is not a systematic selection rule. To find a representative sample, we can do this the same way. You can draw a line, for instance, nearby the exit of the venue, and you say every fifth, third, or every person, however, it depends how many persons are in the venue at that time, of course, but every fifth person I make an interview with, no matter how this person looks like, whether it is alone or in a group, whatever. So then there is no subjective distortion. Because otherwise I do not know what's going on in the mind of a computer to select this person, of the interviewer to select this person or another person. So in visitor studies, usually it's very easy using this method to gain a representative sample. Just make a systematic selection by drawing a line or something and say every person that crosses this line is interviewed. When you are doing a non-visitor study, this is much more complicated. As I mentioned, you cannot just go to a shopping mall or to some cultural places and make interviews in front of museums or whatever. There you never get a representative sample. So what we do when we do our non-visitor studies, we work together with a professional market research institute that does the selection of people. For instance, doing telephone surveys, and they select telephone numbers and make calls to people. This is also representative. Or we ask the city registration office, please give us a list of households or people in Cologne we can interview. And they can do this. They have algorithms that select interviewees from their data files, and they can give it to the research institute. This is whether you get this service from this registration office or not is different. It depends. But in many cities, it is easy when you say, I'm doing a survey for a kind of public service. For instance, I'm doing a survey for the local museums here, for the museums of the city of Cologne, or museums of North Rhine-Westphalia. When there is a public interest behind this, you get the addresses from the authorities, usually very easy and also for free.